Welcome viewers. Today we look at the top 5 most devastating plague epidemics to hit human civilization.
The Plague of Athens. The Plague of Athens was a devastating epidemic which hit the city-state of Athens in ancient Greece during the second year of the Peloponnesian War. The plague unfortunately struck as an Athenian victory was still within reach. The plague is believed to have entered Athens through its ports, which was the sole source of food and supplies. The plague also ravaged much of the eastern Mediterranean. The plague would strike Athens a total of 3 times over 3 years. The plague was so devastating that people began to stop fearing the law, caring for the sick, and worshipping their gods. The Antonine Plague. The Antonine Plague was an ancient pandemic which was brought to the Roman Empire in 165 AD by troops returning from the campaigns in the Near East. The disease caused up to 2,000 deaths a day in the city of Rome alone. It was fatal for 1/4 of those who were affected, which gave a disease and mortality rate of 25%. The total deaths have been estimated at 5 million, and the disease killed as much as 1/3 of the population in some areas and devastated the Roman army. The disease also swept north into the Rhine, which was the traditional home of barbarian tribes which were pushing against the empire's borders. With Rome's armies depleted from disease, it was unable to push these tribes back. The Plague of Justinian. The Plague of Justinian was a pandemic that afflicted the Byzantine Empire, the Sassanid Empire, and port cities around the entire Mediterranean Sea from 541 to 542 AD. One of the greatest plagues in history, this pandemic resulted in the deaths of an estimated 25 to 50 million people. The plague traveled through the Black Rat, which was present on grain ships and carts sent to Constantinople as tribute. Victims suffered from delusions, nightmares, fevers, and swellings in the groins, armpits, and behind their ears. Some victims lapsed into comas, others became highly delusional. Many victims suffered for days before death, while others died almost instantly after the onset of symptoms. The Black Death. The Black Death was one of the most devastating pandemics in human history, which resulted in the deaths of an estimated 75 to 200 million people. It peaked in Europe during the years 1346 to 1353. The disease spread through fleas which were carried by ground rodents which were present in various areas including Central Asia, Kurdistan, Western Asia, Northern India, and Uganda. The plague allegedly made its way into Europe from the Crimea through European traders who were present in the city of Kaffa. The city was under siege by the Mongols who were using dead bodies which had been inflicted by the plague as catapult fodder. As the traders fled the city and returned to Europe, they brought the disease with them. The most commonly noticed symptom was the appearance of swollen lymph bubbles in the groin, the neck, and armpits which oozed pus and blood when open. The Third Plague Pandemic. The Third Plague Pandemic is a name for a plague outbreak which began in Yunnan province in China in 1855. This episode of bubonic plague spread to all inhabited continents, including North America, and killed more than 12 million people in India and China alone. The third pandemic waxed and waned throughout the world for the next 5 decades and did not end until 1959. By that point, it had killed an estimated 15 million people, the majority of which were in India.
That was the 5 most devastating plague epidemics in human civilization. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the video, and comment on the video. See you at the next countdown.